1999, Brett assumed the role of President of International Operations and moved to London, England, with his wife and son. In 2000, the company sold to GSI Commerce. At that point in his career, Brett was ready for a new adventure. He joined Amadeus Capital in London, where he evaluated investment opportunities in software for about 2 years. Brett and Amy spent a total of 4 years in London. In 2003, Brett and Amy returned to the States with their 2 children and took up residence in Bellingham. Brett joined the family business as president of Allsop Technology Division. Allsop Inc. started in a garage in 1964 and today has several divisions and offices around the world. It is a company that has been founded on innovation. They see a need, invent the solution, find their niche, and make it happen. The company develops and produces a variety of things: boot trees for ski boots, ski poles, disc cleaners for CDs, soft ride bikes, trailer hitches, and today they are the leaders in technology-driven products. Brett was an integral part of the business, overseeing research and development and international sales. What a thrill it must have been to Mike to have both his sons in the family consortium. Brett had a creative genius, an entrepreneurial energy that was unsurpassed. No one was surprised when just 3 years ago he started yet another venture, Yapta. Yapta is an online travel assistance company based in Seattle, and Tom Romary, co-founder of Yapta, is here to speak to us today. Tom.
Thank you, Andy and Duncan, for sharing those wonderful thoughts about Brett, and Duncan in particular, your thoughts about Lake Padden this morning really made that run special. It was great to see everyone out there. It was a beautiful way to start today. I know that was important to Brett. I've had the special privilege of working closely with Brett since the 1990s, first in Silicon Valley at Fog Dog, which he founded along with his pals Andrew Chen and Robert Chia. Most recently, Brett and I were business partners at Yapta, the online travel company, which Brett and his brother Ryan founded. And I was very touched when Ryan called me last week to ask to speak today. I'm very proud to be here. Over the course of a decade, our business relationship evolved into a close friendship that I cherish very much today. Brett was a brilliant and talented businessman, and he has been my mentor in so many ways. One of the best experiences of my life was working together with Brett and a very talented, close-knit team to build Yapta. As most of you know, Brett's passion, his first passion, was his family, and Riley and Aspen were clearly the center of his universe. Brett's second passion was creating and inventing things, turning new ideas into reality, and building businesses from the ground up. He was incredibly adept and successful at pursuing both of his passions, as a loving parent and as an entrepreneur. For all of us in the business community who knew Brett, I think we can agree that he is the embodiment of the word entrepreneur. Brett was a deep thinker and an inspirational innovator. I always considered Brett a modern-day version of Thomas Edison, tinkering with new ideas until the inevitable breakthrough emerged or blew up. Whether it was the rate tracker software at Yapta, the Ohm-metric product line at Allsop, or some new product feature that helped people evaluate products at Fog Dog, Brett was truly a genius. If you spent one afternoon with Brett and a whiteboard, or even an afternoon with him on a ski lift, then you know what it's like to drink from a fire hose of creativity. Recently, some Yaptonians and I completed one of Brett's epic product brainstorms with an evening crabbing cruise on his boat in Chuckanut Bay. This uniquely Northwest style of business planning gave us time to reflect on all the great ideas he helped generate during the day, and more importantly, it gave us time to bond. And as an aside, we were all very impressed with Brett's ability to clean a live crab in seconds with his bare hands. Brett was unabashedly fearless in his pursuits, and that's what we love so much about him. During this week, Countless stories about Brett's talents and bravery have been shared among his friends. Robert Chia recalled a meeting between Brett and Jerry Yang, the founder of Yahoo. Jerry suggested in the meeting that if a business experiment to sell sporting goods online went well, then the publicly traded Yahoo would consider buying the newly minted Fog Dog. Brett responded without hesitation, "Or maybe we'll buy you, Jerry." 2 years later, Yahoo had not bought Fog Dog, and Fog Dog had completed a successful IPO on the NASDAQ. Score one for Brett. Brett was also the consummate marketer and promoter, an essential trait of an entrepreneur. Who else could agree to name their company Fog Dog or Yapta? I remember vividly Brett driving a Zamboni machine off the ice rink of the NHL Sharks and onto the street of San Jose and proclaiming proudly in front of the rolling TV cameras that Fog Dog sold everything from Adidas to Zamboni. 4 weeks later, at the Fog Dog launch party in San Francisco, Brett and his colleague Greg Pedoni arranged for 2 Zambonis to drag race each other down Battery Street, one driven by the Stanford Tree and the other by Cal's Oski the Bear. Needless to say, Brett arranged for the Stanford Tree to win the drag race. Brett arguably was as much a P.T. Barnum as he was like Thomas Edison. Brett was one of the most versatile and competent business people I've come across in my career. His intellect and curiosity allowed him to excel in product development, software architecture, marketing, sales, and the nuances of entrepreneurial finance. And he did it with passion. Brett was truly an impact player, making a positive and lasting impression for everyone he met. Many colleagues and business associates around the world have made some very endearing comments to describe Brett since his tragic passing. Superb human being, infectious, unbounded optimism, a catalyst, inspirational, determined, charismatic, and my favorite, shining smile. One family nicknamed Brett Turbo for, as they described, his boundless energy and drive to make his dreams come alive. Brett's greatest trait, in my view, is his winning personality, his ability to connect with people, and his compassion for people. An Allsop employee recently shared how much joy Brett expressed at the news of her pregnancy, to the point that Brett was brought to tears. He always displayed a human touch with every interaction he made, and as a result, I always viewed Brett as a supportive friend first and a business associate second. His warm personality, coupled with a direct, straight-talk style, earned him many successes in business. More important, it earned him many friends. Walking the floor of the SGMA Super Show in Atlanta in 1999 with Brett at Fog Dog was a rare chance to meet some of the top sports brand executives around the world. They all greeted Brett with a warm smile and with high regard. They also sought his visionary perspective of the then-emerging e-commerce market. I recall fondly in the early days of Yapta at a tense meeting with a major airline who wasn't particularly thrilled with Yapta's airfare refund alerts, how Brett's genuine straight talk helped to disarm the situation and eventually allowed us to build a lasting partnership with that airline. The hardest part of Brett's passing for me is losing a close friend and knowing how much more Brett could have accomplished in his already amazing career. But we are here to celebrate Brett's life today. And all of us who knew Brett recognize that we are better people because of knowing him. Thankfully, Brett's enthusiasm for innovation and for pursuing dreams is ingrained in anyone who worked with him or knew him. We all take a little bit of Brett's bravado and zeal into pursuing our own dreams and living our own lives to the fullest. Mike and Maya, you raised a beautiful son. Ryan, you were molded by and helped to mold a wonderful brother. Aspen and Riley, you were the joy of Brett's life. You made him a better person, and you will be forever grateful for the gifts and lessons he has given to you. Brett lived by the mantra, carpe diem, seize the day, and also by participo diem, share the day. He has shared so much with us and has set such a positive example for how to live life that we can all move forward with a little more optimism and hope, and even possibly with a bit of Brett's trademark sparkle in his deep blue eyes that said, "We can do anything."